What's going on, guys? Hopefully you guys are doing well, safe and sound with this absolute fucking craziness that is going on that we call our world right now, nowadays. I want to talk about something today that this is going to get really heavy. And some of you are not going to be able to handle what I'm saying. Some of you are going to understand it right away. And the goal is just to bring awareness to this situation, what's going on, and then not argue about it. I don't want to fight about it. What I would really like is for you to just go research on your own based on the things that you hear me talk about today, and then make a decision based on your own perception with a clear mind. Now, let's get into this. So we know a couple months ago, the Pentagon released a statement, which was shocking as hell to all of us, that we have vehicles that are not from this world, off-world vehicles we have in our possession. We have UFOs. Now, this wasn't something very scary and it wasn't shocking. I think that everybody in general that I had talked to, I'd seen online, were like, holy fuck, finally they're admitting it. Holy shit, I knew it. Everybody was actually excited for it. They were actually like to the point where they're like, finally we feel like the government is being honest. And that was the general consensus. People actually thought that way. Now, what does that have to do with what we're talking about today? So this week, a video, a very distinct, clear video popped up on the internet of the skies over New Jersey. And what was in this video was a very crystal clear flying saucer, quote unquote UFO. Now, people on the ground were looking at it. They grabbed their phones. They were filming it. The thing hit the internet running. It was like, well, what the fuck? UFO filmed, and people that lived there were like, I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at. Like, it was really disturbing to some people, but it was very clear that what they were seeing was something that was very foreign to them, something they had never seen before, that made them stop and grab their phones and shit and have discussions while they were filming it about what they were actually seeing. Now, about a day later or 2 days later, a press release goes out from the powers that be, which I'm not really sure who the fuck that is anymore, that states that it was just a blimp. Now, hang on a second here. I'm no aviation expert. I'm no blimp expert. I'm no UFO expert. But I know what a fucking blimp looks like. And I know that blimps have not come from when I was a kid looking like a fucking blimp to looking like something that came from fucking Mars or a flying saucer. I know they haven't come that far, because if they did, they would talk about it on TV, on these different specials, about how things have evolved, just like they show different planes that we have, different helicopters, different drones. They would say, hey, this is the old blimps that fucking sucked. These are the new ones that are fucking faster. They're not as dangerous. They're cheaper. They would be showing that shit off, the companies that created these new blimps that look like flying saucers. They'd be more like a headline like, new blimp looks like flying saucer, out of this world blimp, it would be something that would probably be in the headlines to begin with before people even start freaking the fuck out. But nothing like that happened. This thing just showed up, right? Now, here's the problem that I have. With my own two eyes, I'm looking at this fucking thing and I'm like, this is not a blimp. Like, it's very clear that it's not a blimp, right? So why the fuck would not only the powers that be come out and say it is, but why would people all of a sudden go, oh, okay, that makes sense? I'm like, what the fuck? Like, a minute ago you were looking at it, it looks like a flying saucer. They say blimp and you're like, okay, it makes sense. What the fuck just happened? And then it dawned on me. We are so programmed to trust the powers that be, the mainstream media, the government, whoever the fuck these people are, scientists, doctors, whoever, that our reality and our perception can be changed with a few key words. We can actually have our vision skewed and see something that's not actually there based on the manipulative words used by the people that want us to see something else. So as you're looking at this UFO, this fucking spinning thing down the bottom, this light, this fucking thing is just hovering there, and everybody's looking at it, not knowing what it is, and all of a sudden the news says, oh, blimp. Here's the deal. You're looking at this right now. Do you know what this is? Okay, let's act like it's a UFO. Jerry, it's a remote control. I'm looking at it. It looks like a remote control. Everywhere I turn it, it looks like a remote control. But, Yeah, no, it's definitely a remote control. Fuck, that's crazy. Jerry's holding a remote control in the video. Now, what if I told you this is not a remote control, this is a coffee mug? You'd be like, what? I'd be like, it's a coffee mug that kind of resembles a remote control. Now, some of you would be like, what the fuck? Like, that doesn't make any sense, which is like me, because I'm looking at this thing going, that doesn't look like a fucking blimp. There's no way. But some people who trust me and trust my word are going to go, oh, did you see fucking Jerry's thing today? No, he had this fucking coffee mug that looked like a remote control. It was so cool. Must be like a custom thing or something. There are going to be people that believe this is a coffee mug just based on what I say because they trust me. And they will actually think this is a coffee mug and you just pour it on the top and drink from it that is shaped like a remote control. Why not? That's what Jerry said, right? Must be a custom thing. Makes sense now. That's what they can do. This is an orange. And they fucking go, well, I'm sorry, it's an apple. And you're like, but it's a fucking orange. Like, no, that's an apple. That's a rounder, porous apple that has like an orange color to it, but that's an apple. And you're like, oh, a round, porous, orange colored apple. Okay. It's all about what they say, how they say it, and get you to follow that trail to get your perception to change. And I stepped back and I went, holy shit, they just literally shoved a UFO in people's faces, told them it was a fucking blimp, and some of the people went, okay, it's a blimp. I'm like, that is power. That is scary. And above all, whether you want to admit it or not, whether you like it or not, that is mind control. They can literally flip the switch and have you perceive anything they want based on how they say it, when they say it, who is saying it, and if they say it enough, it becomes reality. They can alter your reality. They can alter your perception by saying what they want you to understand and think over and over again. And then start putting in things like, well, yeah, see, it's silver and has lights on it. Blimps are silver and have lights on them. So are fucking cars. Sorry, we ran out of film here. So are motorcycles. They're silver with fucking lights. So are cars. They're silver with lights. You know, my garage has silver brackets with lights. I mean, there's a lot of things out there with silver lights, but this is a fucking UFO. None of that shit can be mistaken for that. But if they say it long enough, over and over again, and drill it into your fucking heads, next thing you know, that UFO is now a blimp. And then the best part is, it's not like they go, well, here's the reason why. Here's what you saw. Here's the actual blimp itself. And this is why it looks like it. It's a new type of blimp with less curves or more, less fucking right angles and less, and they can actually show the blimp and say, see, this is why. But there isn't anything showing that that's what it was, which would be very easy. Wherever that blimp is, take a fucking picture of it, right? Or show whoever's responsible for the flight patterns. Well, why can't we show the flight patterns and stuff? Why can't we show the logs of who was flying it, what was going on? Like, there's so many things that are just left out of that equation, just left out of that experience that people aren't even paying attention to. Like, they don't even get it. They're just like, okay, it's a blimp. That's the same shit that happened in Roswell, right? And now they talk about it openly. People talk about it openly. Like, it's not even a surprise anymore that people actually believe a UFO crashed in Roswell. But now we have no reason to not believe that because our actual government said that we have UFOs. So where the fuck did they come from? These fucking UFOs that we've had for a while. And they just lied about it. And now they come clean about it. And now we see probably the best example of a UFO we've ever seen, the clearest video we've ever seen, at a point where the government has already admitted that we have UFOs and they exist. And they say fucking blimp. And people go, oh, blimp. And they just forget all about it. Did you forget about the fact that they've been lying to us for like 60 years about this? Did you forget about the fact that they dropped this information on us, this UFO information on us? And when it actually bonded people together, because when they told us this a couple months ago that we had these UFOs, people were excited. They weren't scared. They weren't fearful. They were excited. They felt confirmed because they knew all along that there was life on other planets and we just hadn't fucking been told yet. So everybody that fucking was on social media, some people didn't believe it. They're like, okay, this is fucking stupid. But the Pentagon just admitted we have them. So you can't even fucking not believe it. They just admitted it. So it even had skeptics and naysayers going, holy shit, like we're starting to fucking go back and watch episodes of the X-Files and figure out what's coming next, right? It just doesn't make any sense. You have the clearest vision, or the clearest view, the clearest video of UFO we've ever seen. And rather than being like, hey, this is one of those things, you could even say it's a test drive on one of the ones that we had. No, they say it's a blimp. That scares the fuck out of me that people actually believe that and listen to that. That scares the shit out of me that they actually bought into that explanation and just blew it off. And here we go. It's no longer in the news. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, not the news, but it's no longer being pushed online. But online, some people aren't letting it go, which I absolutely fucking love. And they're asking the questions I'm asking. They're saying things I'm saying. And they're trying to get answers because they know the pieces of the puzzle don't fucking fit. But they also know now, they're seeing in real time how people can be controlled, how their minds can be altered, how their perception can be altered by a few simple words by people that they trust. That's the scariest part. I'm Biospherian, I approve this message, and we're out.